This week on Cinema Beach, a look at cinema past and Oscar future. Hello and welcome to Cinema Beach, the show that takes you inside the world of indie film. I'm Brian Thompson.
And I'm Tony Ortiz. On today's show, can a silent film compel today's audiences? We'll take a look at that when we talk about The Artist.
The Artist, yes. Plus our DVD pick of the week and what's on video shelves this week. But first, while Twilight is still dominating at the box office,
Giving people seizures.
you'll be seizure-free if you check out the Indie News feed. Tony, what do you got for us this week?
Well, Edgar Wright, coming out on December 9th, has his 7-day festival at the New Beverly Center, whatever it's called, The Right Stuff 3, or it's...
Films that Edgar Wright hasn't seen,
Yeah, film that Edgar Wright hasn't seen, so...
Yeah, it's a program by Edgar Wright. It's, with the help of all of his friends.
Quentin Tarantino and Bill Hader and
Judd Apatow and Harry Knowles and, a lot of film people.
Yeah.
Basically 7 days of triple features of movies that
Edgar Wright hasn't seen.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. 5,000 Fingers.
5,000 Fingers of Dr. T. Modern Times. Bad News Bears.
Yes, the Bad News Bears.
And there was Buckaroo Banzai.
Can't wait for that one.
That was a Kevin Smith pick, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he likes that movie. Some good movies showing, and it's kind of a really great best of repertory film. Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Speaking of some good cinema, we saw this week the trailer for The Raid, the Toronto kind of hyped up Best Picture earlier this year. What do you think of the trailer?
Yes. Don't go looking at that if you just ate, because it's a little much. It's a little much.
An incredibly, probably the most violent trailer I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Full of some amazing stunts, amazing martial arts, and some great visual blood splattering.
Yes, tons. It's like The Expendables with some testicles.
Yeah, I think it kind of gives Old Boy a run for its money in a sense. It's a good one. I'm looking forward to this movie. It played at Fantastic Fest. It's coming out at Sundance in a few months, and it's going to be on demand in January and in theaters come this spring. So the movie's about a SWAT team that kind of breaks into the world's most notoriously criminal-filled apartment, and they get trapped and
fight their way out.
Every
which way possible.
It's like the elements of almost like Die Hard and Assault on Precinct 13, but it's
way gorier, way more kick-ass.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Check out the trailer, the full trailer on our website, and Oscar picks starting to come out. Some great kind of pre looks at Oscar. National Board of Review announced their awards this week. Hugo top the list.
Kind of contradictory
to the New York Film Critics, who said The Artist was the best film of the year. I think it's going to come down to The Artist and Hugo, which we'll be talking about here in a few minutes. Some good, I think, indicators of what we're going to have for Oscar. I think National Board of Review said that Tilda Swinton was their best actress for We Need to Talk About Kevin, whereas New York Film Critics said that Meryl Streep for The Iron Lady. And we have George Clooney at National Board of Review, and we have Brad Pitt for New York Film Critics.
Maybe they'll dip it up.
But that'll be a really good Oscar show with Billy Crystal being the ref.
Not going to be friends anymore after this, guys. So.
And some other indicators. We had the Spirit Award nominations came out this week. 50-50 getting a lot of love at the Spirit Awards.
Yes.
The Descendants getting a lot of love. The Artist actually
killed it.
It got it's looking like it's going to be the big Spirit Award winner. So I don't know. I mean, all signs are pointing to The Artist as being one of the great films. And again, we'll talk about this soon. But it should be some good results out of the Oscar run up here. For the full list of all the nominees for the National Board of Review, New York Film Critics, and everything, check out our newsfeed at cinemabeach.com.
Up next, we'll be talking about the film that has no talking at all.
Yeah, look at The Artist. Check it out.
For more film news, check out the news feed on our website at CinemaBeach.com. There you can find all the current happenings in the world of independent film, from trailers to casting announcements, production reports to film festival updates. The news feed at Cinema Beach is your best source for indie film news. While you're there, subscribe to our RSS feed, and don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
Last week we counted The Artist as our most anticipated film of December, if for nothing else than that we just didn't know what to expect from this black and white throwback to silent films. Director Michel Hazanavicius gives us an unusual, sometimes funny, but thoroughly melodramatic look at the rise and fall of Hollywood's golden-era actors. It's an enjoyable film, daring in its commitment to style, but I gotta ask, is this a film that can only be enjoyed by people who get it, who understand the history and witty visual references, or will an audience be inclined to enjoy the silence?
I think they can. I think they will. Actually, I went to go see the movie with my girlfriend, and she's not a cinema buff like us. You know, she doesn't frequent the independent films.
She liked it.
And I was actually there with a full audience, and everyone seemed to enjoy it thoroughly.
Yeah, this is a movie. I liked it. I don't know. I mean, I think you liked it a lot more than I did, and that's. I think that's what we're gonna have a problem with here. I kind of felt that it was kind of what I said. It's a good film, but I think it's a film for people who just get it. Although you're saying something different here. I don't know. It has everything that you want out of a good film. It's it's black and white.
Yeah, it's black and white. It's silent.
It's silent. It doesn't really.
Classic.
It's not an original
score,
story. Everything that's possibly good about a film. So, but I mean, tell me, what did you like about the movie? I mean, why did it connect to you and maybe not to me?
Well, I mean, I think just a little change from the norm. I mean, we haven't seen a silent film in a long time. One word, that's an hour and 50 minutes as well. But you kind of focus a little bit more on the story, which still is a basic story, but aren't they all? I mean, we've seen, every story's been played out, so...
Yeah, true. But, my problem with this is that it's a story, definitely that we've seen before. We've especially seen it in this kind of film history. The movie's about a guy who is a silent film star who kind of rises to fame, and then he meets a girl who has a profound effect on his life and he has on her life. She ends up becoming the new star because she transitions to the talkies, and he, chooses not to. And so we see, the rise and fall of two of Hollywood great actors, at a time that technology is changing.
And I just think all the acting was spot on in that film.
I'll agree with you there. I mean, the acting is amazing. The dancing is fantastic. I definitely do connect with the acting. There's something to be said for not being able to talk and and kind of hamming it up, but kind of doing it with a wink and a nod, and you kind of laugh with them. But then at the same time, you end up getting that fantastic performance towards the end by Jean Dujardin, who really shows some emotion and shows this arc in his character that by the end he's not kind of the hammy silent film star. He is someone who's very real and very destroyed.
Yeah, and I thought it was an awesome job by the director, who I don't want to...
Michel Hazanavicius.
I'm not
Michel
gonna...
Hazanavicius.
Hazanavicius, there you go. I didn't want to massacre his name. Michel, if you're watching, like you're going to be watching.
Yeah. Well, we don't speak in French, so...
Yeah, so he won't know anyway.
I mean, he does do a great job. Again, though, I argue that this is a movie that's it's style over substance, and Michel definitely has the style. He's got that down. He understands his film history. He's perfected everything about this film in terms of style. He's got, great references and architecture and costuming and the mise-en-scene of that time period, and some fantastic little kind of witty visual things happening in the background, like the marquee of the theater, the Lonely Star Theater, is very funny. But all that attention to detail, while it's fantastic, I kind of was saying to Mick over here that for me it was like a very serious homage to silent film, a la Family Guy, to 80s sitcoms. I mean, it's, they got it. They're making fun, but they're also kind of, loving the history. Whether that is something that it's like, is it new, or is it just like, okay, yeah, I get it, That's my problem with the film, and so.
Yeah, well, I think it was more or less an homage, but that can not just appeal to the film buffs, you know what I mean? I think that it appeals to people like us, but then at the same time maybe newer audience who doesn't even know anything about silent film, that doesn't know anything about any of that time period. And so I think that this was a good way to bridge people. Maybe someone who will see this will go check out other silent films or black and white films for even that matter. So.
Yeah, that would definitely be a good thing. So, my argument is that The Artist, while it's a good movie, and while if you like silent movies, if you like film history, if you're a film buff and you're watching this podcast, you'll definitely like The Artist.
So if you're watching the podcast, watch The Artist.
If you're not watching the podcast,
if you're watching some other lame cinema show, reviewer show,
they're probably
watch
reviewing.
Hugo.
Yeah.
So there you go.
The Muppet or Twilight.
Yeah, go watch Twilight, and it'll be all good.
The Artist is playing in select theaters right now, so yeah, just go check it out. Up next, we got our DVD pick of the week, so stick around.
To check out more about this movie, head on over to the review section at CinemaBeach.com. Read the complete review, or check out the other reviews on the site. Updated weekly, we've got you covered on all the films playing in Southern California's art houses. You can also browse our archives for past reviews from all of our contributors.
I'd very much like to know whose hospitality I'm enjoying.
Selden. Kathy Selden.
Enchanted, Miss Selden. I'm sorry I frightened you. I was getting a little too much love from my adoring fans.
Oh, that's what you were running away from. They did that to you? That's terrible.
Yes, it is, isn't it? It is terrible. Well, we movie stars get the glory. I guess we have to take the little heartaches that go with it. People think we lead lives of glamour and romance, but we're really lonely. Terribly lonely.
Mr. Lockwood, I really can't tell you how sorry I am about taking you for a criminal before, but it was understandable under the circumstances.
Sure.
I knew I'd seen you.
Which of my pictures have you seen?
I don't remember. I saw one once.
You saw one once?
Yes, I think you were dueling, and there was a girl, Lena Lamont. No, I don't go to the movies much. If you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, no offense. Movies are entertaining enough for the masses, but the personalities on the screen just don't impress me. I mean, they don't talk, they don't act, they just make a lot of dumb show. Well, you know. Like that.
You mean like what I do?
Well, yes. Here we are at Sunset in Camden.
Musicals were a staple of my childhood film viewing, and Singing in the Rain is arguably one of the best musicals out there. Film historians will classify Singing in the Rain as a type of showbiz musical, where we're putting on a show. But this is also a fairly insightful look at the change that Hollywood endured during the transition to talkies. Like The Artist, this is a film about one man's reluctance to adapt to new film technology. But with the aid of a down-home, but soon-to-be starlet, he rises above them. Tony, did you see Singing in the Rain?
Well, I have seen Singing in the Rain.
It's a classic.
It is a classic. I think we've actually seen it in one of our classes. But
Yeah.
it's one of those movies that everyone needs to see.
It is, and it's a perfect tie-in with the artist, as I mentioned. It's a movie that is the artist definitely lives.
Has a lot of correlations to it.
Yeah,
Definitely does.
yeah, and it's a fantastic musical, and I think that might be a little bit of turnoff for people who haven't seen the movie, who maybe don't like musicals. My big complaint about Singing in the Rain is that it's got this really awful closing musical number that just makes no sense. But other than that, I mean, it's a movie that kind of deals with the same thing as the artist. It's about a guy who is a silent film actor who makes a transition to talkies. It's more fun. It's more funny. There's some great musical numbers. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a must see.
Yeah, Gene Kelly is amazing in it. Of course, everyone. I don't know how many times that whole Singing in the Rain bit in the street has been ripped off in commercials or ads or anything like that. But it's an iconic film. It's one that it's probably one of the better musicals of
Yeah, definitely.
time. So,
and as I mentioned, it's a specific type of musical. It's this showbiz musical, where it's the songs are more about doing a show than they are about just singing out your emotions.
I just saw some on David Letterman, and they were talking about musicals and how it never seems right because people just start popping out a song that doesn't make sense. But I wish I was on the show. Dave. And
You could have said, well,
yeah.
check out the Singing
Yeah, I
in
would
the
have been
Rain.
like, well, actually, Singing in the Rain, if you watch that one, yeah.
Now, wait a second, Mr. Simpson. Talking pictures. I think you should wait.
Every studio is jumping on the bandwagon, Dexter. All the theaters are putting in sound equipment. We don't want to be left out of it.
We don't know anything about this gadget.
What do you have to know? It's a picture. You do what you always did. You just add talking to it.
Yeah?
Don, believe me, it will be a sensation. Lamont and Lockwood, they talk.
Well, of course we talk. Don't everybody?
So that's our DVD pick of the week, Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, it's on DVD, not Blu-ray.
Yeah, special edition DVD and a Blu-ray. Yeah.
Hopefully someday Criterion will pick it up or something like that. That would be nice. New to DVD this week, The Help, starring Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, and Emma Stone. This is a super popular flick that lightly examines race relations in the South. The Debt, starring Helen Mirren and Tom Wilkinson, in this actioner that visits the past and dishes retribution on heinous crimes. And Life Above All, the South African contender about a family's struggle and one girl's fight to save their dignity. Well, that's it for this week on Cinema Beach. If you like us, check us out on iTunes, rate us, leave us a comment. Hopefully they're all good to the one person listening to us right now. So check us out. I'm Tony Ortiz.
And I'm Brian Thompson on behalf of McNonnie, Ham, and the rest of the staff at CinemaBeach.com. Thanks for watching.